All right. Hello. My name is Brandon. I'm here in my little workshop in northern Portugal. It's around lunchtime. I think the family's in there eating. But I thought I would sneak out here and make a little video and share a little bit about myself. Um, I am 43. I'll be 43 in November. I'm married. My wife is Portuguese. We met in southern India about 7 years ago. I'm originally from Alabama. Um, basically, in 2012, I was working for a tech company in Seattle, and I was just like, I can keep going with this, um, or I can make moves. And at the time, I was having the most fun in my life. I never had such an experience up until then that I was having in Seattle. I was traveling all the time. I was going around the country, going to different cities for work. I was having all kinds of adventures. It was just so much fun. I had just gotten a promotion to national training manager for the company, and I go into the office one day and I talked to my manager and I said, "Look, I think it's over. I think I'm out of here." She was like, "Okay." And I bought a one-way ticket to Thailand. So I sold everything, bought a one-way ticket to Thailand, kind of completely without thinking too much about it. I was originally going to go to Argentina, and then I overheard someone talking about their son had just gone to Thailand. It never really occurred to me, so I ended up moving to northern Thailand, to Chiang Mai, for about a year. I lived there. I had an apartment, and I lived there, and I basically, that first year was sort of decompressing. I would wake up and go to the cafe and see about trying to start a business. And that took me about 3 to 4 months to stop doing and realize, like, wait a minute, no, I need to let go. And that started the real major journey in my life. And then in around 2013, I was up in Nepal and I did the big Annapurna circuit. I took 3 months to do it. I took my time. I was by myself. I stayed in villages. And then I was back in Kathmandu and I ended up overhearing some people talking about they just bought a motorcycle and rode it into Nepal from India. And I saw, okay, maybe I can do that. I ended up buying a Royal Enfield in Kathmandu, and I was going to ride it down to Goa, India, over 3 months, and ended up doing the complete opposite. I ended up going out of western Nepal and then going up through the Himalayas. And then I ended up getting new visas and then coming back around and then eventually making my way all the way back down to Goa. That was how many years ago? 2013. So that was like more than 12 years ago. I still have that same bike. I actually tattooed it on my arm in an abstract way. So that's been a crazy experience. 3 times up and down India on that bike, solo, camping, just basically being a wild dude, getting in all kinds of crazy situations. One of them, I won't get into it now, but led me to bag making. Kind of a cool story, but I'll probably say it in another place. Um, but let's see. So that led me, I was living in Goa. I was living basically half of the year in northern India and half of the year in southern India. And some other travels, like I would go back to Thailand sometimes and Bali sometimes and just kind of mix around. And during this time, I did create another product that I did sell on Kickstarter. It was a success, but um, I couldn't keep it going. The logistics of it were just too difficult. Trying to find people to make it was really hard. I just didn't want to deal with it at the time either. I was actually going through my second bout with cancer as well at the time. And the first time I got it in 2008, I had testicular cancer. I had it removed, had a orchiectomy, and then it came back in 2015 in my abdomen. and then I had chemo for 3 months at that time, and then so yeah, I had chemo for 3 months. God, it's funny. I'm not thinking anything like bad. It's just, emotion. So I ended up at the same time I was trying to get that product off the ground. This came back, and I was dealing with this at the same time. I was in Asia. I ended up going back to the USA, going through chemo treatments. I got done with chemo in early 2016. I ended up buying a Triumph Bonneville and riding it from Alabama to San Francisco over 6 months, like celebrating cancer free, complete, no hair, no facial hair. All my hair was gone. I did 3 months of quite intensive chemo, and uh, then I kept going. My goal when I was in having going through that was I want to get back to northern India, and I want to ride my motorcycle through the Himalayas, and I'm just gonna take my sweet time if it's the last thing I do. And that's exactly what the plan was, and that's what I did. I ended up meeting Elsa in late 2016 in southern India. We were just talking. We talked, talk, 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 talk. Did not get together, and then in March 2017, I got on the motorcycle and I rode from Goa all the way to the to Leh Ladakh in northern India. And I really, really, really went slowly. Um, so fast forward again, cancer came back again in the other testicle in 2022. Had another orchiectomy, so double orchiectomy, no testicles anymore. Which turns, come to find out, you don't actually need them, which is quite quite ironic in a way. You don't, if you're not planning to have children, you don't need them. They're sort of just a liability. And this is something that mostly you hear about with women with a double mastectomy with breast or a mastectomy. But you don't often hear that about with guys with a double orchiectomy. It's fairly uncommon. Um, so yeah, I have no more liability down there, but everything, blah, too much information. It all everything actually works. I have to take 1,000 milligrams of testosterone every 3 months. That's it. Everything else is it's kind of crazy with modern technology what we can handle. So anyway, in end of 2022, me and Elsa were in Goa. We ended up starting to manage this retreat center. It went really well. We kept going. We're still going, um, and this has led me to where I am here. And this is my latest bag. I'm in love with it. I really do think it's the most practical, simple, accessible, easy to use, sort of indestructible, lightweight, thought out bag that I've made. I absolutely am in love with it. And that's it. So I basically, I want to see if I can share this with more people. Since I make it by hand, I'm gonna do only one-on-one custom jobs for people, and I'll try to aim to maybe do 1 to 3 a month. That's it. This bag takes about 30 hours to make. And yeah, for me, it's a meditation. I love doing it. I actually love feeling each stitch. I mean, I feel it piercing the fabric and going through, pulling out the thread, putting the loop, tightening the lock stitch by hand, each time tightening on my fingers, and I can feel it tightening in the fabric. There's one. Boom, go again. So I love it. It's a great meditation, and I just want to try and see if I can share in this EDC bag, perfect bag um, community that there is. You know, communicate with people, connect with people, share. Um, yeah, possibly have someone else, you know, commission a bag for me and love it, and they love it. You know, the fact that you can take fabric and these materials and this hardware, these attachments, and you can take it from nothing and build it into something all by hand. I just love that. I have no sewing machine. I don't even know how to use a sewing machine. You know, these days it's quite funny. You know, when they say it's handmade, they actually mean somebody is sewing with a sewing machine, right? Like one person is making it with a sewing machine. The only time that handmade is actually really handmade is when, you know, somebody is using an awl to make some type of leather goods usually. As far as I can tell, there's nobody making bags like this with it all. So I don't know. This is the way I grew. This is the way it came. This is the way it happened. And so I love it. You know, I want to keep it going. And, you know, I'm excited to maybe share with whoever wants to connect. So that's it. All right, I'll leave it there. Peace.